Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and today I'm just kind of trying to squeeze in an extra layout this month. I have a layout scheduled for the last day of the month for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and I'm hoping my part 2 of my mega album flip will be this Sunday. I will post on my community tab what time once I know, but I didn't really have any videos up until then. So I wanted to create this one really quick to squeeze in another process video. I wanted to use some old stash, and I was thinking since I was using some photos from my time with Cavalia Edicio, it might be fun to try and get some more Maggie Holmes carousel used up, since that's very carnival themed, and I feel like sometimes that can cross over into circus theme. So I have my background from Bloom. I don't have the 12 by 12 from Carousel, but I do have the 12 by 12 chipboard and the 6 by 8 paper pad. So I'm just going to try and pull some of this stuff together. You guys know I accumulate Maggie Holmes and then have a really hard time using it. So I'm really trying to take the opportunity to get this stuff used up while I have something that's kind of on theme for some of these weird, like, themey things. So I have this fun multicolored scallop background. It really reminded me of a curtain, like a closed curtain. So I felt like that was appropriate for this performance. These photos are just a bunch of different photos from kind of behind the scenes, some of the funny things that I took photos of that I wanted to remember and document. So I'm just going to stack those up kind of in a photo column. This is when I had my old phone. It wasn't an iPhone, really poor quality. I couldn't really zoom in very far. The second it gets a little bit dark, the photos get really blurry. So I'm just going to try and explain what these photos are. That's kind of why they look the way they do. And then you can see me doing surgery on this chipboard sheet. I really wanted to pull out the things I wanted to use from this chipboard sheet, but not... Sorry, it's thunderstorming if you can hear the thunder. But I wanted to keep the backing intact because I didn't want the chipboard sticking down anywhere, because I wanted to be able to freely move it around until I decided where I wanted it to go. I definitely wanted to use this cotton candy cart. I thought that was super fun. Wanted to use one of the bigger things from that chipboard sheet to get it used up. And then since it has the blue, pink, and gold, I decided to pull in some of the gold chipboard hearts, and then one of the hearts that has the pink as well. And then since I'm pulling in the pink, I also decided to try and get this little pink admission ticket used up as well. So you can see right away, before I even start with my design, I kind of put these chipboard pieces in a visual triangle around my photo, and that's kind of where I'm going to build my design from. I just want to make sure those three things, because I'm planning on those being the centerpieces of my embellishment clusters, to kind of tell me where to do everything else. But since I did pull in a lot of pink, I went to the 6 by 8 paper pad and pulled in a pink paper to mount all these photos. You can see how I just kind of glued all those photos together in a strip and then I matted them together on this pink. And then I was feeling it was a little busy, so I wanted one of the more toned down pattern papers from the collection, so I reached for this white and black star print, which I thought was super cool. And I kind of decided to tuck them on either side of the pink layer at an angle. I thought that was a really interesting look. So now I kind of have some layers around my photo. I'm going to place my chipboard back down where I kind of want to have them. And now I'm kind of looking at my cotton candy cart here at the bottom left. I really want to recreate the same kind of paper layers with scraps that I just used from my photo layers. So I'm creating the same kind of angles with that star paper as a background setting for my little candy cart. I think that's really cute. I'm going to go ahead and get those glued down. It was kind of looking plain though, just having those pattern papers down there. And since there is some gold glitter in some of these chipboard pieces, I decided it would be fun to pull in some pops of gold, especially a really yellow gold that I don't get to use a lot. So I have some gold doilies I've been hoarding. I think Giselle sent them to me. And I don't have very many of them, so I kind of hoard them for when I'm using Maggie Holmes, because I feel like it goes so perfectly with these collections. So you'll see me kind of put that down next to this candy cart as a little horizontal element for this cart to kind of sit, but that gold really changes this whole page. I really love introducing that really shiny yellow gold, so I'm going to make sure that's spread around the page. I only had a scrap of this larger doily, but I do have a smaller gold doily that I'm going to end up pulling into the other two embellishment clusters, so that really shiny yellow gold creates a visual triangle as well. So I love that. So I have that little gold doily down there. I love this little cluster. And now that little candy cart has a little scenery for it to sit on. And now I'm going to revisit my photo layers here. I definitely need some more things tucked around these photo layers because it's looking a little plain. It's really hard because I really wanted to use this fun multicolored background, so I want to pull in some kind of toned down other paper so it doesn't get too busy, but at the same time I don't want my photo layers to look boring. I decided maybe I would try and pull in another pattern paper from the 6x8 paper pad, but then decide against it because I really like the balance I've struck here between the layers around my photo and the layers around my embellishment. So I decided to stick with those two pattern papers and kind of make it more interesting through embellishment. So I'm looking at those two. I decide against using them. But I think I'm going to pull out my smaller gold doily here in a minute because once I move my chipboard pieces to where they're going to go, I realize, all right, I need to build out a little more around these areas to make it look full the same way the cotton candy cart looks full. So here's my smaller little gold doily. I'm going to cut that into two pieces and you'll see that sticking out of either side of these photos where these little clusters are. And I'm just going to get that glued down. I love this little pink ticket. I love how it brings the pink around the page. And again, this is a circus show essentially. So a ticket, an admission ticket, I felt was right on theme. So I'm going to get that stuck down. I did decide to use one of these little chevron arrow bits I had already fussy cut from a different pattern paper to be one of my clustered things in that ticket area. And now I'm trying to create the area where these other hearts are. So I'm just going to stick those up there. I think that looks really cute. I definitely want more in these clusters. I'm just trying to get my bases down before I decide what to build. But before I kind of glue everything down, because I really do want to accentuate this yellow gold pop, I'm just going to do some Heidi Swapp gold color shine on the diagonal just so the background has a little bit of that gold shimmer as well. And I think that's a perfect accent to these gold doilies I'm bringing in. But now that I have the background mixed media done, if you will, if you want to call that mist that, I'm going to go ahead and glue down these layers so I can start really working on these embellishment clusters. So I'm going to get this other doily down. And then these two little hearts. I love that they give you a bunch of these gold glitter hearts, but there's this one heart that has the pink on it too, because that was the perfect thing to kind of bridge between these other embellishments into the gold hearts. And then I kind of got stuck as far as layering and my clusters, so I decided to switch gears and think about my title. I really wanted to call this Circus Things, because all of these photos are kind of different things that happened behind the scenes that I wanted to remember. So I think Circus Things is a fun little title, and then I can explain what's going on in these photos. I decided just to run it up the side here just so there's gold through the middle of the page, and it kind of makes that layer more interesting because those are still kind of looking plain to me. So I'm just going to run this title down the side of the photos. I love this gold glitter and I don't use it enough, so since there is gold glitter on this page, I wanted to make sure I used that thicker while I had the chance. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my journaling because I'm still stuck as far as an embellishment goes. So I'm just going to journal around the entire outside. It says these performers are like one big family and always having fun. From morning workouts to playing jump rope during intermission, these guys know how to break up the monotony. One time I saw one of the boys walking around with a blown up balloon in his hair, and the other time I pranked one of the riders by hiding his horse around the corner. A little payback for his playful teasing. So funny. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. I don't consider myself obviously a part of their family because they traveled together. They've been doing this for years and I was only with them for this 1 month, but it was a lot of fun to see them interact and kind of play these jokes on each other. I mean, that middle photo, the performers were literally just bored during intermission, and they decided to take one of the ropes that we kind of rope off a section of the barn for when we have people come through. And use it as a jump rope. So you can see there's like 3 different performers jump roping together and 2 people holding this rope. And it was funny. So I wanted to make sure I recorded it. So I'm just getting all that journaling down. And then I'm trying to remember what I do next. I go through my stash. Whenever I use Maggie Holmes, it's an opportunity for me to go through my other old stash to try and just get a bunch of it used up. So I have some of these blue labels, and I figured they're in the color scheme. I want to beef up my clusters. Adding a little label is always a good way to beef up your clusters. So I'm just adding 3 of those, 1 in each of my clusters. It's kind of tricky because the chipboard was really already stuck down to the the gold doily, so I had to tear it a little bit, but hopefully you can't tell too much. But I think that adds just another layer and beefs it up a little bit. And then I thought I was kind of done, but it was still looking too plain, and it was really drawing my eye that the title is running off of this star pattern paper is just looking kind of weird, and I wanted another pattern paper to run along this title. To draw your eye to the title, but to make it look like the title belongs and it's not falling off of these layers in an awkward way. So I took more of these arrow chevrons I'd already fussy cut, and I'm just running them up the side here just to beef it out a little bit. And that way it kind of also makes sense because I have one of these arrows in this little ticket cluster and I don't have those arrows anywhere else. So now that's a part of the design and it all kind of goes. So this was kind of a weird page for me. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but I was really happy to note this memory and get some more of these older products used up. And hopefully this will kind of get you through to my album flip and to the last process video of the month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are the close-ups, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.